Oh, hey.
Hi.
You got a new couch. I like it. Ask Hyojin.
Ask Hyojin. Actually, today it's going to be about our Yes, I am already regretting it. So today's topic is Keith's
Oh, 발음하기 어렵지.
Keith's experience as a Korean American.
Yeah.
And you've been living here for how long?
It's like my 5th, 6th year.
Okay.
I lost count. I stopped counting now.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I get a lot of emails asking, so how's life as blah 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 in Korea? Like how's life as half or like African American or a lot of list. But here we have a Korean American guy. So I have some questions, but they are not really important. So you can just, talk about whatever you want to talk.
Just talk about my life.
Yeah, your life story. Share with everyone who's watching this. So, I guess you get a lot of questions like this. Do you feel more Korean or more American?
Well, it's 50-50. 50-50. Well, I grew up in America, so of course I'm gonna have like an American mindset and things like that. But also in America, I grew up in a Korean community.
Ah, okay.
So I have a lot of Korean stuff.
So you already knew what it was going to be like being
sort of
in Korea?
Yeah, but then the thing is, like in America, like the Koreans in America, they're from like the 1980s and 70s. They have like a traditional Korean mindset and culture, right? So like Korea changed and is much more modern now, right? But like the old Koreans in America, they have the old mindset, the traditional mindset.
And they haven't really changed.
Yeah, they haven't changed to the modern Korean. So it's like my mom, she's like the old Korean. She would not survive here. Even my dad, my dad who is very modern and, liberal and all that stuff, all his values are very traditional Korean. I don't think he would really do well over here. He always talks about like Koreans over here, oh, they're so weird. Like he always talks about Koreans in Korea. It's like, oh, they're so weird. I don't understand them and things like that.
Interesting. 신기해요.
Yeah, because around that time, the 70s and 80s was like the big immigration to America for Koreans. So yeah, it's a different kind of Korean, traditional. Even you say like I'm more Korean sometimes than other.
Sometimes I feel like because I have a lot of international friends and I have Korean American friends and like who has like Korean connections, half Koreans,
adoptees.
But like Keith, I always think that you're like very Korean, like more Korean than those other friends.
Okay, but you see me as like a Korean American, right?
Yeah. For example, when we eat, he's like always like, oh, eat this, eat mine too. Like, let's share.
Yeah, well, that's like the 1980s Korean culture, right?
So that's why.
Yeah. But now, like, it's a lot of like, pay for your own thing now, right?
Yes.
Recently, so I don't know.
Very weird to me. It doesn't feel very weird to me. It's like, oh, you pay what you eat, and
yeah, I wasn't used to it. I grew up, I saw my parents always fighting for the check. My aunts and uncles like, no, I'll pay this time. No, my turn, right? And they fight over it, right? One time we went to an expensive restaurant with my sister's friend's parents, and they're very well off, right? And then they picked the restaurant. It was a very nice restaurant, very luxury, fancy. And then my mom and her mom were fighting over it, right? It's like, no, I'll take care of it. No, I'll take care of it. And then my mom looked at the bill, and then she was like, oh no, it's okay. So you have to like try at least, right? And then like if you can't afford it, then it's like okay.
You feel like Korean, half Korean, like half American. But how do people see you here?
The older Korean people, they're like, doesn't matter that your Korean's not perfect. Your blood is Korean. Your homeland is Korea.
You're Korean.
And you're Korean. They expect me to be like have Korean values and have like do things the Korean way. Of course, because I'm partially Korean. But there's like I'm not always like that. But yeah, older people see me as like a Korean and they expect me to be Korean. But then the younger people, like you know, you're very international. So it's like, you see me as what I am, a Korean American.
Usually younger people would see you like that.
Yeah, it's actually, there's so many Korean Americans here now, or Korean Canadians, or Korean Japanese, or Korean whatever, right? There's so many of them that we ourselves are now like a recognized minority in Korea, right?
But do people expect you to speak Korean, like perfect Korean, or maybe like advanced level Korean?
Yeah, I think so. I think in the beginning they expect you, but then it also depends on the age and where you are. Like, for example, like Seoul, right? People are exposed to lots of different cultures or here more than like the Jibang, right? So the countryside, they'll be like, oh, why aren't you Korean? Like, I don't understand. You're so weird. And then like now it's like, oh, he's a Korean American. I've seen him before. Kind of thing.
So you think that it's getting better in terms of people understand you for not speaking English perfectly?
Yeah, I'm understood. It's like, oh yeah, well, he is who he is.
So you say you grew up in a Korean community, but still, did you feel like kind of culture shock?
Yeah, because it's like the old Korean style, right?
Like you said before.
Yeah.
It's old in America, old Korean style in America, but it's more modern.
Modern here, yeah. But also, like, you know, there's just things that I didn't know.
For example?
Well, for example, like on the very first day I came to Korea, I went to a cafe and I got a coffee, and then I was just standing outside admiring the weather. It was it was nice weather. And then there was like the 직원, you know, that was washing the windows of the cafe, and I was like, hey, nice weather. And then usually you respond, right? You're like, oh yeah, it's nice weather or whatever, right?
In English or in Korean?
In Korean, right? Like, it was a girl, which makes it worse, right? Because now I'm like some kind of weirdo that wants to hit on her all the time, right? But anyway, like, she just and then like went back, and I was so shocked. I was trying to make a good conversation about the weather, the beautiful weather, but she just looked at me like some rapist. I was trying to be nice.
Okay. Well, there could be two explanations. Maybe you have the look.
Well, no, I think my experience is different though, because she expected me to be Korean. So if I was a non-Korean, if I had like a white face or a black face or something, and I looked totally foreigner, then she would be like, oh, a foreigner, well, yeah, maybe it's a nice day. But like, because
Wegukin speaking Korean, that's nice.
Or even though, you know, Wegukin speaking English, it's just making conversation. It's like, oh, different, right? But but I was expected to be like Korean, and she's like, what is this weirdo Korean doing talking to me? Don't do that. I got the message, all right? I don't do it anymore.
Well, it is not as common as, you know, speaking to strangers. Like, talking to strangers is not as common.
Yeah, well, in America, like, you know, you talk to, I think it's two different extremes, right? Like, you wait on the bus. It's like, oh, the bus is so late. Well, oh my God, I hate this bus, right? And then, like, here, you just look at your phone.
Yeah. You know,
leave me alone.
There are people who talk to strangers. Older ajummas.
Yeah, older people, they definitely like talking to people, and it's okay. You're supposed to listen to them.
You know, the other day I was looking at my phone, and this ajashi was like looking at my phone and talking about my like photos. I was looking at my photos.
Invasion of privacy.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't really happen much. And talking to strangers is not very common in Korea, so you are not used to that.
Yeah, again, going back to the Korean thing. Yeah, so.
Interesting.
If you're a foreigner, go ahead, talk to all the people that you want. I'm sure they'll you know, have a nice conversation about the weather.
Or they run away.
Yeah.
Do you have like relatives here?
I have my yukchon.
Yukchon, what's yukchon?
6 degrees of separation, right? So it's my father's cousin's daughter.
Cousin's daughter. That's not that close.
No, it's a distant family, yeah. But that's the only family that I have here because they all immigrated together.
Oh, okay. So when you first came here, did you meet them?
Because I don't have any family, and she's the only one, my dad's like, oh, go contact her, you know, meet up and whatever, you know, and family's family, right? And I think that's a really good part about Korean culture is that, you know, once you're family, even if you don't know them, I only met her once when I was a child, right? But yeah, they're very accepting. It's like, oh, family, your family. Hey, let's hang out. Hey, let's take care of each other and everything like that. So it's very, very nice. So I didn't know them, but I became much closer to them.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So I have a very, very childish question.
Okay.
It's like,
you always do.
Do you like your mom better or dad better?
Mommy!
I believe your dad is watching this.
He knows.
Okay, so if there's like sporting event in America and like United States of America versus Korea, who would you support?
Yeah, it's the same question, mommy or daddy, right?
That's why I told you it's a childish question, but it's a fun question to ask.
Well, okay, if I'm in America, I root for the Korean team. Always.
Oh.
No, you know what? I always root for the Korean team, I think. Always.
Why?
Because they're not very good. And I want them to do good. And then like
you know, when it comes to soccer, we are better.
Still not that good. But better.
Okay.
But yeah, go, right? If
so basically Korea, because we're not that good.
Yeah. I mean, America's like good at a lot of stuff. It's like, oh, who cares? Come on, right?
Has any of your like American friends felt offended that you're not rooting for America?
No, well, all my friends are Korean American.
Oh, okay.
So we are all together like, yay, Korea, right? During the World Cup, I was here, right? But my friends, they hung out at Korean bars in New York, right? And then they rooted for Korea, right? And then at the end of the game, you know, everyone was like 신났어 in Korea, but also in New York too, right? And then they would drive around like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when the games were on. And then they would go in the car like, bum, 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 damn, like in the car, right? And just
like in 2002 you're talking
yeah,
about?
in 2002, right? They were so excited. And then like, you know what they would do? They gathered in like parks and then they played soccer together. They never play soccer. But they're like, oh yeah, Korea's doing so well, right? So everyone was excited, yeah. I think it's a big Korean American thing. But also, like, there's other people, like my sister. My sister is so American. She's like, no, I'm American, go America. But she also roots for Korea too, yeah. So it depends. I don't know. Dude, I felt like I talked too much about myself.
Yeah, I almost fell asleep. I'm just kidding. Thank you for sharing.
I don't mind, but do you care if I talk about myself?
Well, I have a last question.
Okay.
Like, when you first came here, you said you didn't really speak Korean very well. Do you think people less liked you when you didn't speak good Korean? Like, do you think people like you more because you can speak Korean?
Well, I don't think it's more about like or dislike. It's like you have more opportunities, of course, right?
Okay.
So, like, if you don't speak Korean, there's some people that you can't get in contact with. You can't be friends with so easily, right? So I think it's more like a life thing. And at first, I didn't speak a lot of Korean, and they're like, "Oh, well, he's a Korean American. He's Kyopo. He's, you know." But now that I speak more Korean, people see me more as a Korean than before. Yeah. So
I'm sure there are a lot of Korean Americans out there who are wondering why
Korean Canadians, Korean
or Korean like me. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah. So I hope we helped you with some of his stories.
I don't know. I hope I just gave some entertaining stories.
Yes. 고맙습니다.
Oh, and if you don't know, I have my own channel. She comes on sometimes.
Yes,
and,
stylistic.com. There are a lot of fun articles to read about.
Videos, check it out, please.
Videos are very, 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 very funny. I'm not just saying it because I'm in it. But yeah, it's very entertaining and informative.
Informative.
Yes.
Right. Subscribe.
네, 여기 링크 넣을게요.
Okay.
그리고 또 다음에.
Thanks for listening to my crap.
안녕. 수거나 표현들을 100개를 골라서 모아놓은 책인데요. 저희 톡투민 코리안 비디오 레슨 중에 캐치 더 웨이브가 있잖아요, 언니.
아, 맞아요.
어떤 거죠?
캐치 더 웨이브라는 프로그램, 라디오 프로그램에서 현우 오빠랑 에이드리안이 항상 한국어에서 관용